Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am here playing Battlefield 5 again, taking a look at some of the guns that I never really used when the game was at its peak. So today I am using the gewehr 1.5. Before I get started, I just wanted to say if you do end up enjoying the video, please leave a like and subscribe and share it with somebody that you think may like it or enjoys FPS content, as I am trying hard to build my community. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So the gewehr 1.5 is a semi-auto version of the Sturmgewehr, which is the first weapon that you have in the assault class. And by all means, that gun is much better than the gewehr 1.5. The gewehr sort of really struggles in its single fire mode. It does really well if you can hit every headshot, but I mean, of course, unless you're actually cheating, that's not gonna happen. And I do believe that the body damage is low enough that once you start shooting at somebody, you're likely going to get out damaged by their gun. And that makes it one of those guns to me that you have better options to use. In terms of why would you want to use it, I would say maybe it's a preference thing, or if you are just doing like I'm doing and just trying something new. I had fun with it, I did well with it, but I definitely felt those moments where I was like, okay, this is, you know, I'm getting out fragged by everybody that I'm running into, and that gets a bit old after a while. I think the specializations definitely help. I went all down the right tree of the specializations with quick aim, light and stock, custom stock, and recoil buffer, which the quick aim just helps you aim faster in ADS, and if you're using the 3X, I guess that helps, but Battlefield never really had much of an issue with ADS speed. The light and stock helps you move faster while you're ADS. The custom stock gives you better accuracy while you're moving ADS. And the recoil buffer is, you know, less recoil, obviously, less vertical recoil. But the gun doesn't really have horizontal recoil, so it doesn't, like, that distinction doesn't actually really matter. But in comparison to what the left tree offers, I felt that these specializations were the ones that fit my playstyle a bit more. The other specializations seem to be more based towards hip fire. So if you're more of a hip firer, then those specializations would suit pretty well. Like I said before, the time to kill and everything in comparison to the other guns feels marginally slower with this gun. So I believe it's about 5 shots that have to hit in the body for it to do 100 damage, but in the head I believe it does around 40 damage to the head. So 3 shots, 2 to the head, 1 to the body usually will get them. But it's one of those things that I believe, because it has 31 rounds in it, that they didn't want it to be too overpowered like the other semi-auto rifles that the assault class offers. So I get it, because like the other ones have like 11 rounds, 12 rounds. I believe a couple of them have like 20 or 25. But having a rifle that has 31 bullets that could 3-shot people would be like really, really overpowered, I feel like. I ended up moving around from the 3X to the aperture sight, which worked okay. And then I finally settled on the red dot sight because I felt like a 1X zoom was more in tune with how I was trying to play with the gun, because at a range, the gun suffers more so than the other semi-auto rifles. But the other semi-autos are self-loading rifles, and they're meant more, I think, for mid-range engagements. So the gewehr 1.5 feels like it's definitely handled better at closer range. I think that sets it apart a little bit from the other rifles too. Even the full autos, like, those are really good close range too, but to have a semi-auto that performs well at close range is kind of nice too. I mean, you could always just put the other guns in single fire too, but I believe that the Sturmgewehr does less damage considering that per bullet it is full auto. So the gewehr 1.5 would definitely outshine that if you were shooting that in single fire, but you're not going to outshine the Beretta in single fire with it, or any of the other self-loading rifles. Like I said, it does struggle a bit against like the SMGs as well, because of the fact that they do just shoot fast and their DPS is just higher than, you know, most people can naturally click. I guess if you did some funny business to get the gun to shoot faster, it probably would do fine, but I don't see it naturally being my go-to in many scenarios. But I'm glad that I did use it, and I did get it to level 10, because I just feel like, you know, you get stuck in these ruts in games of just, you're constantly using the same thing, and I enjoy to branch out, kind of challenge myself, or just see what the game has to offer more, because, you know, they put in this work for these weapons, and then some people just don't even use them, and that's fine. But for me, I look at that, and like, maybe it's because of my software background, but I look at that and I'm like, you know, I should try this and see how it is and see how it performs. I do think that some people would really enjoy the weapon. Maybe some people would have a better time with the 3X than I do. It just felt like when I was in close range combat, maybe this is where the hipfire specializations would come more in handy, but as I was in close range combat, I felt like the 3X was just harming me more than it was doing me any good, whereas if I used like the gewehr 43 or the M1A1, the 3X is fine any range, because you can spam it quickly and the damage per bullet is higher than it is in the gewehr 1.5. So if you have a better handle at a 3X at close range than I do, or you're more of a hipfire player, I think that this gun could work really well for somebody who is more geared towards that sort of play style. I tend to be a little bit more mid-range, a little bit, you know, like if I do get close, like, yeah, I prefer to have something that I can full auto, but I can do okay with the self-loading rifles in this game at closer range. But I do tend to sit back. I'm not as gung-ho about getting myself into the fray as I was when I was younger. I kind of use these games as a way to just sort of relax and just challenge myself to do different things. So I think if you are somebody who really enjoys being a little bit more close range, and even between close range and mid range, I think this gun would be really, really good for you. For myself, I find that there are just better alternatives to the gun, but I don't think it's bad. Anyway, I think that it works well enough, so I'm glad that I used it, but I don't think I'll be going back to it in the future. But that's all I have for this video, so I wanted to thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.